What it do, family of one? Just be hanging out in the Zen zone with my rainbow child, getting it in Indigo child style with the rainbow child. So I wanted to do a video today and talk about my awakening with my daughter. Talk about my... Get in the camera, you're okay. Alright,
no,
so...
I can be in the camera, you just stared at me.
I know, I just say I'm happy to be with you on the live.
Yeah.
So, I'm going live with her, and I'm going to talk about my awakening, how I navigated through it with her, and how she's had her experiences now, and she's awakening herself. So, I'm excited for this one. This one's very spirit-guided, and I've seen synchronicity like on the clock 3 times, haven't we, since we decided to do this. So Spirit was like, yeah, it's definitely time for you to go live with your rainbow child and show everybody how a child's innocence can't lie about these things that are happening to us on the planet, right? So she had herself an experience, didn't you, the other day during your attunement? That was cool. We'll get to that here in a second. So I'm going to start out with my awakening back in 2016. We were taking her Native American ceremonies, wasn't it?
Sundance.
Yeah, Sundance. You remember that. Alright, so we were going to Native American ceremonies from 2013 to 2016. Sweat lodges that she would go to, and then we finally made it to, remember the Uweepi ceremony? Oh, where the spirits were flying around us and everything?
Yeah.
And the rattles and were flying.
It was scary when I was outside just chilling and
yeah, it was.
It was way too hot.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, you're talking about the sweat lodge? I'm talking about the Uweepi ceremony.
Is that the one where you get pierced?
No, that wasn't the piercing. That's Sundance. Uweepi was the one where all the rattles were flying. You were a baby or younger. I think you had to pee. Remember? Anyways, so me and my rainbow child are hanging out, kicking it. You already know. All right, so I attuned her to Reiki the other day, and it was a really powerful experience. Me and her are going to talk about that, and she's going to tell you guys her crazy experience in the astral planes. But on top of all, I mean, you might have been remote viewing. I don't know which one it was, but she was definitely out of body. And so I wanted to talk about my awakening in 2016 at Sundance, like she mentioned, and then how she handled it and experienced it herself, and what I went through during it and everything.
I thought it was a dream.
Thought it was a dream whenever you were astral projecting? So, alright, you ready? We're going to talk about whenever, back when Dad woke up in Sundance, okay?
Yeah.
So we went to Sundance, right? And yeah. You remember Sundance?
I remember us staying in our van.
Staying in our van?
We waited like the last 4 days or so.
Yeah, it was an 8-day ceremony, and me and her went to this ceremony, and this is where I had my massive awakening experience, where it felt like I took like a hit of drug, like LSD or something, and all my chakras, my 12-strand DNA got activated there. And that's when life changed, didn't it? Dad was different from that day on, wasn't I?
Yeah, a lot different.
A lot different. I had my fat download that I was from another planet, and I couldn't shut up about it, could I?
You could not shut up at all. I was like, Dad, please, my head's starting to hurt. Yeah,
I was really impressing it into everybody, like really, 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 really badly. And I even went through and like she didn't, know who to believe, because her mom was telling her that I was crazy, wasn't she?
Not really.
Not crazy, but she just wasn't like she wasn't in the mood to talk about it. Anyways, so basically she didn't her vibration wasn't about to lay down and hang out. All right, that's cool. That's perfect right there. You're good to go. So basically whenever I woke up, she was confused because I was confused. I didn't know what reality was. I was slipping reality, and reality was slipping from me. So one minute I would tell you Jesus was real, whatnot, didn't I? And then like the next minute I would tell you like that there is no God, and I was weirded out, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was like that.
Yeah.
You have to make a choice.
You gotta make a choice, exactly. So I was going through a shift in reality, and it was just really hard. So over the next... Sit up, Mrs. Man.
No.
Yes, you're going to hang out with me.
No.
Alright, we're going to get her involved in this. Okay. So this is where it gets fun, where she gets to talk about her stuff. So Dad started having experiences, and you started witnessing them, right? Yep. You started seeing me have like things happen where I'd predict stuff, and she would see it happen. And she's so pretty and embarrassed right now, and I'm going to make her. All right, so I want you to talk about your experience because we're going to just move on to that here in a second. So she sees me like predict a couple things happening. She starts seeing synchronicity, right? The things on the clock, the numbers on the clock.
Yeah, I saw him on a freaking microwave.
Yeah, and like you freaked out, didn't you? You were like, Dad, 11:11.
Yeah, I think I remember a long time ago when I always saw a synchronicity.
Alright, I'm done. Alright, so we're gonna move on to your experience. We're gonna move on to your experience. So this the other day, so all through this though, now you know that Dad's not so crazy, right?
No.
That's what I was gonna get at, is that you guys that are working through this, your children will one day follow up with you because you're gonna be the one doing the inner work. And you're gonna be the one that's changing, and she sees me chasing my dreams.
I'm scared of bats now.
You're scared of bats now? Because outside the other one night? Because they were swooping on us? Alright, sit towards them so you can tell them the story. Alright, so what happened the other day was we Reiki'd. I attuned her to Reiki. So I had her sitting in the chair right there, and I attuned her, right? It's gonna get funny. I'm gonna show you some stuff here in a second.
I was passed all the way out when Dad tried making me out.
She was sitting there in meditation, and she was out. I was like, after the session, I was like, Adriana, you can come back. And she didn't even hear me. Like, there was no register that she was there at all. I knew she was out of body or something, right? So I'm gonna remind her some of the points in her story and let her tell the story to you guys. Okay? Cool. All right. So whenever you first got out of body, you told me that
it's some kind of blue body outlined it.
Tell them better than that.
I don't know how.
You've seen a being, right?
Yeah, so
she's seen beings.
Outlined with the wings bursting out.
They had wings bursting out?
Of their backs.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary.
Light beings. She's seen light beings.
It was something like Raising Dion.
And like Raising Dion? Got you.
Remember?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You felt like you were in the upside down, right? Just like in Stranger Things?
But everything was holographic.
Everything was holographic?
And my head started to hurt because of how bright it was.
Because how bright it all was? Alright, so now we're going to get into the details where she'll tell you some funny stuff. So, if you guys see, there's pictures on my walls over there. Then there's some Halloween decorations on the wall there. And,
the spider was the scariest one. It's the size of a freaking wolf spider.
She said that he, all the things on the walls came to life. So you said that one picture, and what happened on the winter picture?
Okay, so I saw a little man climb all the way on that little
mountain.
Little man.
Little man, you're so silly. She's like a young hippie, 11-year-old hippie. If you guys haven't noticed, her freaking straight up.
My personality makes it look like that.
I love you. All right, so the other picture she's seen, the winter picture. You said something about a car drove. Yeah. A car drove through a picture.
Remember those tracks?
Yeah, the tracks. There's tracks on the photo, and she said that a car drove through and made the tracks on it. Now start telling them about how you were screaming at me and you seen the sun in your hands and all that stuff. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that one. I was starting to say cuss words.
She was cussing at me, trying to get me to, trying to wake me up from whatever she was at.
Say, I was saying get.
You're so retarded. Yeah.
I'm retarded?
No.
This was not retarded mode. I was serious.
Yeah, she thought she was dying. She said she thought that she was dead, and she was trying to like scream.
There was nobody there. I thought you were going insane.
Oh, because I was just walking around doing stuff to somebody, and you weren't there. Oh, so apparently she couldn't see her body in the chair that I was. She just seen me walking around working on nothing. She thought that I was going insane.
I was like, Dad, do you see this? Because my body's not right there.
So she said she's seen her chakras pulsating, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Like, let's just say my eyes somehow flew out of my head, and then I looked over my body, and then all of a sudden I just saw like one at a time, poof, poof, and yeah.
They were turning on? Like boom, boom, boom.
It sounded scary.
I'm just showing you guys how powerful a Reiki attunement is. People can have these experiences during Reiki attunement. She left her body, yo. And so here, come back over here. So you're tripping because there's so many people in there, aren't you?
No.
So remember, so she said she left the house. Tell them about this experience, about that.
Oh boy, that part.
Yep. Tell them about that.
Okay, so I was trying to go through the door, because my hand kept going through the knob. So I tried doing the most retarded thing you could possibly do. Burst through the door with your body. So I ran back, and then I ran at the door, and the first thing that happened was I went through it, and then fell down the stairs and bonked my head.
So she's in the astral planes at this point, guys, if you guys don't realize that she was out of body, completely out of body, and she was in the living room, and she said she tried to grab the doorknob, and the door wouldn't open, so she took off running at the door to bust through it, and she actually just went through the door, right?
It's the most scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Okay, so...
I was like, when did teleportation come in this world?
When did teleportation come into this?
Or
So she's feeling like she's in Doctor Strange right at this moment, right about now.
Mostly, yeah. I
Yep.
wasn't
I've prepared her for that moment because
I was not prepared at all.
Yeah, but I've talked to you about astral projection all the time and being out
Yeah,
of your
but I
body.
didn't expect it to look like that.
So then she walks outside, and you said
It was like the deadlights. Like he makes stuff comes alive. It was scary.
So she went outside, and you said the moon was talking to you.
Yeah. You remember the It one?
Yeah.
Like the very first one, like from the 1990s.
Yeah.
The moon talked at Henry Bauer. I think it was something like that, but way, way nicer.
Way nicer.
No face was on it. Nothing was on it.
She was just talking to you.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So Mother Moon was talking to her. She said the planet looked different. What you said, the grass was colored? What or something?
I don't remember that.
You said you told me the grass was purple. Do you remember now?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
That's what I'm trying to do is make
Oh my god, the tent part.
The tent. Tell them about that.
Oh my god.
She also said that my Merkaba was shooting light out of it. Remember, out of the ceiling of the house, right?
Yeah, it made the ceiling come apart.
I'll show you. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, she said this thing right here was shooting light, and it broke out of the ceiling. And while she was in the astral planes, that's what it was doing. So it was a beam of light basically shooting out of that. And that obviously is sacred geometry. So what else did you have? Oh, you came back in the house, you said, and you were splashing water on your face.
I was trying to. I couldn't.
You were
turn on the sink.
You couldn't turn the sink on, so you were trying to splash water on your face, and then I woke her up.
Yeah.
But you also, whenever I was sitting there, you said you seen me putting the sun into your hands or something. Well, tell them about that.
Looks like some kind of electrical pulse sending from your hand coming to mine.
Electrical pulse sending from my hand to yours?
Yeah.
And you said you look like it's in the sun in your hand or something?
Yeah, like cartoony kind.
Really? That's so cool. That's so cool. I just wanted to show you guys that these experiences are real, that we're going to all be having. And my little rainbow child's really connected. And let me tell you guys a story about her. She has never done anything what you would call negative or bad in her life ever. I've never had to discipline you, have I?
No.
You've always done whatever you...
I've always got the 1, 2, 3 though.
What? Are you talking about synchronicity?
No, the 1, 2, 3.
What's that mean? Okie doke? What the hell's that mean? You're over Dad's head right now. Dad has no idea.
1,
Oh, the 1, 2, 3
2.
method. Yeah, so I implemented the 1, 2, 3 method with her, which people all think is bullcrap. But to tell you the truth, whenever I'm like, that's 1, and then she keeps doing something, I say that's 2. She always stopped, didn't you?
I was like,
you were.
Bolton.
She was done at 3. She was not going to go to 3 because she knew she would sit in timeout for however old she was, and if her butt was in the chair and she was screaming, she was listening. So I taught her.
I was bolting every time you said 2.
I know you were done. So I really did a good job raising her, definitely, and I've definitely shielded her from a lot of the darknesses that I had to endure as a kid. She knows a lot about my lustful stuff that happened to me as a kid. I kept her really educated. I'm really one thing I know she can. One thing I do with my rainbow child is I make sure that she understands sex and different things about sex and doesn't think that it's bad or negative or dark, and that she knows that adults do that and she understands it. And I've integrated and taught her about porn and different things like that, how they're unhealthy for us. And most parents, she even said, would you say that one day you were like, most dads aren't cool with this stuff? It's different.
Even though they watched it since they were a kid, they probably, why would they get mad at their kid?
Right, exactly. But you gotta realize, Sissy, is we're all trying to help you guys change and teach you guys how to grow up. So you don't have to heal yourselves when you grow up like we did. And that's the point. That's why we went through this stuff for you guys. And if you pull on that belt, you're going to be grounded for 16 hours to the planet. She's only been grounded to the planet she gets grounded to the planet daily.
I'm gonna get smacked in the face the moment.
Get up. You get grounded to the planet daily, don't you?
My
Don't you? Alright, so what me and her are going to do, we wanted to do one quick thing where we sat and sent Reiki to each other and show you guys how cool it is when you and somebody else, and if you guys, I know I just felt some weird energies coming through about me and my daughter and what we were talking about the sexual stuff, but if you're, this is my way I raise my daughter, and I've learned how to, I want her to navigate in this reality and see all the red flags and things that I didn't see as a child, and I didn't talk to my parents about as a child, and that's why I went through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure that I've done a good job as a parent to keep her very aware of all the darkness that could be potentially happening to her on this planet. And I didn't want her to grow up at all thinking about, like sex like I did being such a dark, dark, dark thing. As a child, I did it very early at age, and she knows that. And for me, I labeled it dark, and something that feels good is so dark to me, and it still is as an adult. It still feels like the wrong thing to do. So I'm trying to teach her how to integrate this and become a sexual being at her age, because she's right at the age of puberty, of how to become an adult and explore her sexuality in the healthy way, right? So I know what I'm doing in this planet, and when people question me and they try to call me out, I've learned to not be triggered because I know my truth, and I know that I'm one badass dad. I'll let you come back in 2 seconds so we can do this Reiki, and then you can be done.
Bathroom break. Hang on.
Get your bathroom break on. So I think it's so cool though that she had that experience. If you guys don't know, man, like I was tickled to death because she knows Dad's a starseed. I always talk about it. Oh, this is all I do, and she obviously had seen me have experiences, and she knew that I wasn't as crazy as everybody thinks I am. That's in the reality around me. And she had that experience the other day, and it just like sealed the deal. She's like, Dad, wow. I was like, I know, I told you about it. And I'm glad that it happened to you. But so me and her's getting ready to just show you guys that you can sit and do so if you are interested in learning about Reiki, you can hit me up for an energy exchange. We can do an attunement and get you rolling on it. And I can also attune your children. That's something I'm wanting to start doing for people. If their higher selves are willing to do it, I'll know it. I always get signs and make sure that I'm on the right path before I just attune somebody. The energy has to match. I don't just jump right in and attune people. But come on, I'm going to show you guys how you can sit and you and your children can heal each other in a really easy, quick manner. Come here, just sit right there. Sit Indian style like this. All right. Me and her is just gonna meditate for like a solid, like what, about a minute or so? So hands like this. I don't know if you guys can see, but our hands are we can go like that, can't we? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just gonna do this for about a minute and close our eyes, and I want you to focus your healing on Gaia. So bring the energy down through the top of your head, white light, and then go all the way down through your body. And you feel a jerk that we just did? That jerk was you feeling the energy that I was bringing in for you. So you're bringing white light down through your head right now. It's going down to Gaia. And you're bringing Gaia's light back up through your body, all the way up to the ceiling, okay? And we're just going to sit here and push energy to each other for about a minute, okay? And Dad's going to say some other stuff, like some om. Can you go om? You want to do it? Alright. Alright, we're going to do this. We're going to close our eyes. If you guys want to meditate with us for Gaia for 1 minute, just do that also. Alright. I'm going to do a root chakra chant, so... Lam... Do the same to me after I'm done. Alright, just do that to me. Go from the top like this and come down. Okay. Clear my energy out. Touch the ground. Thank you. Perfect. Head five. Thank you. Alright, you can get out of here. Say bye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Alright. I love you, baby girl.
Ow.
Alright, so I'm gonna hop off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this little session that we had. I just wanted to, I felt divinely guided to talk about some things with her to show you guys that a lot of the stuff on this planet we're all dealing with that we went through as children, we want to shield our kids. And by to shield them, it doesn't mean to not have them know about these things and keep them in the dark about it. It means to illuminate it and tell them about it and keep them very aware of the dangers of this world and the things that they can, the traps, the ego traps they can fall into, and different things like that. For your rainbow child that you're raising, they very much so are connected and can teach you more lessons than you can teach them. And I learned from my daughter more than I learned from you more than you teach me.
I was the one that told you that we're in a video.
Yeah, you were the one that told me we were in a video game. You're not joking. She's known that she was in a simulation since she was young. She's been connected beyond my... she used to tell me all this stuff whenever she was younger, and I didn't even know what the hell she was talking about because I wasn't woke or having any experiences yet. But hey, come in here real quick. Let's jam my song and show everybody my new song that I just dropped. Come in here. Don't be a hater. Fine, I'll just do it myself then. You're a buster. You're such a buster. I don't even want to deal with you right now. Me and you, we're going to have a long talk after this. You're grounded to the planet for at least 30 hours. You can't astral project off it or go anywhere when you're asleep, Tippy. I'm not having it no more. Okay? I always ground her to the planet. Alright, here's my new song that I just came out with. I hope you guys dig it. You sure you don't want to sit here? Come on, man, you love this song though. My own kid loves this song. She'd be banging it down. Oh, I'm screwing up. I really wanted to perform it, or just at least like sing this shit to you guys, because it's so hard.
I'm tired of this music out there, teaching us the wrong ways to live. That's why I make music, building us up, that consciousness raising stuff you already know. I ain't get to feel no love, ain't allowed to be in my feelings. Locked up by my ex, waking up in the mental hospital tripping. I ain't hating on them Christians, but the world to me seem different. Had to speak my truth and keep hustling. When my soul speak, I listen. My light shine like Christmas, Mary keeping me lifted. Steady writing rhymes, chasing dreams, I'm slowly learning I'm gifted. My ex called me the henchman, I'm the only one that gets me. Going hard for awakening, been breaking out, I'm escaping. Stay grounded, I'm baking, so tired of living life vacant. I'm cool with making mistakes, damn, been letting go of that hatred. I know one day I'll make it, emerging out of that matrix. I'm like mixed with that darkness, cause every time I wake up in the morning, got ascension on my mind. Program my course to selenite, the other organite. My chakras spinning violet flame, my kundalini on the rise. Vampires tried to stop me, I just hit them with that light. I got ascension on my mind, 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 I got ascension on my mind. I purchased poison out my veins and finally free my mind. I know I make it out the matrix, I was born to shine. Magic carpet, screw a Rari, gliding by Aladdin fly. My soul is mixed with lava flow, it's colder than a shy. Spirit put me to the test, I'm slowly waking up to sight. Purging dark days of the soul, I'm throwing bows, just watch me fight. Speak that truth off in the booth, they think I'm crazy or I'm high. Born to suffer for the matrix, cause I'm always vibing light. I wake up in the morning, got ascension on my mind. Program my course to selenite, the other organite. My chakras spinning violet flame, my kundalini on the rise. Vampires tried to stop me, I just hit them with that light. I got ascension on my mind, 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 I got ascension on my mind. Electric light in my soul and igniting, I'm bearing the light, surrender, no fighting. Entities great, I keep on surviving. Spirit keep guiding me, I'll be shining. Guarding this baby and grinding and rhyming. Purging this pain, the evil keep trying. Healing my shadow, I'm tired of lying. The ascension been hard, I ain't denying. Yeah, ascension on my mind, I got ascension on my mind, I got ascension on my mind, I wake up in the morning, got ascension on my mind. Program my course to selenite, the other organite. My chakras spinning violet flame, my kundalini on the rise. Vampires tried to stop me, I just hit them with that light. I got ascension on my mind, 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 I got ascension on my mind. Banging.
Alright, I'm gonna get off here, love. Alright, well, you can kick rocks, Celia. You could just literally kick rocks off my page. Nothing but love for you. Bye. Because this is what I do. So whenever you judge me, you're judging you. So I'm sending you love for judging yourself. But you can kick rocks off my page, because I don't put up with people who cross my boundaries and try and tell me how to run a live. So nothing but love to you. It's Mercury retrograde, so I'll allow you to come on my page and do what you do, and blase blase. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that I ain't getting triggered. It's like, it is a trigger to an extent, but it's also a boundary. People want to step on boundaries, and we have to learn how to be like, nah. You, in the past, I would have been passive about that and been like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have done my music. Nah, like, kick rocks. It's cool. You don't have to like rap. This is my, this is my shit that I do. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like the live when I start to do hip hop, you can, like, get off the live, and you don't have to watch it no more. So, you know what I'm saying? This is what I do, though. So if people don't want to accept me for what I do, and they're not cool with that, or feeling some type of way when I rap and it hurts their head, we'll just get off the live and tune back in later, or fast forward later and come back to it. Because this is what I'm into, you know what I'm saying, from my soul, is the music. This live stuff isn't really what I want to do with my life. This is just part of the journey, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, it's Mercury retrograde, so people are going to be testing us and triggering us, just like just happened. She did trigger me. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But it's like, how can I put that? That's a trigger probably from my childhood, where people try to tell me that I can't do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And then I step back off it, you know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, damn. So yeah, she did trigger me, because I did get, like, obviously offended, and obviously perception could have been way off, because she just said I don't like rap. She wasn't even trying to be rude about it. But yeah, like, that's part of Mercury retrograde. And if I wasn't authentic, I always do lives about, I love lives about energy vampires, because I'll not that she was one, but I'll tend to have a couple hop on there, and then they'll trigger me a couple of times, and I'll show you guys how to work through triggers. And so whenever you have triggers that, like, trigger you, I'm getting off track because this is supposed to be about me and my daughter, but when you have triggers that trigger you like that, you will react. If you don't react, you're not human. Like, if you like want to judge me and be all light being and full of light, and not that she was judging me, but I'm saying if somebody wanted to judge me for how I just reacted about that, then they can get off my page and kick rocks too, because I'm very human, and I still get very triggered, and I'm still very much so learning how to be in the limelight and have people watching me and allow them to have their opinions, and not me feel triggered by their opinions. And me and a lot of my lightworker friends that are at my level of awareness, where we all are sitting on the same page or whatever, vibing, we all have that little issue where, like, when people try to call us out and think we're wrong about something, that we feel personally attacked. So a lot of us have to work through that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have to work through that shit. But so it's just some powerful shit today. Like, there's a lot of good energy, and there's a lot of awakening energy, which awakening energy to me means you will be triggered a lot to exactly be gentle with yourself. That's what I was getting ready to get at, was you'll be triggered a lot. So please be gentle with your guys' selves, and don't beat yourself up through triggers, like, allow them to show you what you're supposed to heal. Because I didn't even know prior to that little bitty trigger that I just had that I would be offended by somebody not wanting me to do hip hop on my lives. Does that make sense? So now I'll go back and I'll rework the trigger and be like, okay, next time that pops up, I'll know how to handle that. So this is how we work through Ascension. We are not here to like be perfect. I did a live about that self-love is not perfection. Self-love is loving yourself through the imperfection. I'll say that again. Self-love is not perfection. It is loving yourself through the imperfection. I'll leave you guys with that, and I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to do some more lives here in a second, because I got a lot to say today. So I love you guys. Have a good day.